Hi, this is Matt Dubin, candidate for Washington State Representative in the 36th Legislative District, which is made up of Ballard, Queen Anne, Magnolia, and Belltown. People often ask me, what do you mean by there is no them? And you probably know there is no them is both my website and the theme of my whole campaign. And what it is all about is it's a response to the us versus them zero-sum identity politics that we've seen for too long. But what does that mean? Really what it means is that we've become more committed to an ideological way of doing things than in actually working together to find meaningful solutions to the problems we face as a community. One of the things that I'm very focused on in my campaign is dealing with the issue of homelessness. And I just want to give a quick example of there is no them in action in my own neighborhood. I live near Discovery Park, and as many of you know, there's a proposal to develop the last parcel of Fort Lawton, which is in land adjacent to Discovery Park, to develop it into a low-income housing project and homelessness shelter. There's a competing proposal to incorporate this land into Discovery Park. And feelings are pretty hot on both sides. So we've got a message board where we can discuss things among our neighbors, 25 households. It's a Google group. And so we have emails going back and forth. And we started talking about this proposed housing project, and feelings are pretty strong, and tempers actually flared to the point where those who believe the land should be developed into the housing project were essentially calling those who want it to be incorporated into the park liars about what their real motivation was, calling them NIMBYs, not in my backyard. And of course, that made those people who think the land should be preserved as parkland defensive. And really, this wall went down between these two groups of people where conversation couldn't really even take place. And so I jumped in and suggested that we all want the same thing. We're all good people. We're neighbors. And we want a better community. We want a better society. We want to help the homeless. But we might have different ideas about how to do that. And that's okay. Having differences over policy doesn't make us enemies. It doesn't mean that we don't share the same hopes and dreams and goals and values, but we get so hung up in our ideological way of doing things that we automatically go to, if you don't want to do it my way, then you don't care. And if you don't care, then you're part of the problem. And if you're part of the problem, then we can go ahead and adopt policies that might hurt or disadvantage you, because you're part of the problem. That's called otherizing. We otherize those who don't believe the way we do. But we all believe that we should help the homeless. We all believe that homelessness is a big problem in our community. It's just a difference of how we address it. So what happened in my neighborhood is a really beautiful thing, is we were able to get beyond that ideological need to be right and start talking about different ways that we could come together as a community and actually make a difference in homelessness, in a homeless person's life, or hopefully in more than one homeless person's lives. And it turns out that as a community, we have lots of resources. We know homelessness advocates. We know people in nonprofits. We have great ideas how we can work individually and as a community to help homelessness. So this is what there is no them means. It means that we can be neighbors and friends, and we can disagree on policy, and that's okay. And we can find our common values and our common grounds, and we can come together and formulate inclusive, compassionate, effective solutions to the problems that affect all of us. And that is just one example. Thanks, June, and thanks for joining. Yeah, look, this is just one example of what I mean when I say there is no them. It applies to addiction, it applies to crime, it applies to traffic, it applies to taxes and regulations and all the issues, trade, immigration, everything. When we can get beyond our ideological commitment to being right, our ideological commitment to doing things in a certain way and beating the other guys, and we can start listening to the other voices all around us, and look for and understand we all are good people and we all want what's best for our community, we can together come up with really good, really effective, inclusive solutions that lift everyone up. So that's enough. I'm approaching 6 minutes. I just really wanted to give an example on a small scale, my own neighborhood, of what do I mean by there is no them. And this isn't a political thing. This is just how we relate to each other. We can do it in our own communities. When we see people being divided on ideology, we can look for the common ground and bring people together and find solutions together. It can happen. And it needs to happen in our politics, and nobody's talking about it. And that's why I'm running. So follow my campaign, Matt Dubin for state representative, thereisnothem.us. We've got a Facebook page, Matt Dubin for state representative. We've got There Is No Them all over social media. Check us out. Subscribe to the blog. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm going to be campaigning hard from now all the way through to November. I'd love your support. And that's it. Until the next time, Matt Dubin signing out. Bye.